Making a ruckus. Making a ruckus. Oh. It's the end of the first day of No Shave November. And, oh, by the way, if you didn't know, I'm Kevin. Yeah, but you probably already do because you're watching the channel because, I don't know, most of the critics out there watch my channel. And we receive a lot of hate mail. So one would assume that, or fan mail, as I like to call it. So one would assume that you're watching the channel because you know who I am and you're looking for ammunition against me, right? That's usually what people do. Anyways, so it is No Shave November. As you can see, I've already got a good start. I don't think I shaved in like a month and a half, so I'm gonna have like 2.5 months on this monstrosity. It's gonna drive me bonkers. Probably gonna end up losing a bunch right in here because what happens is I do like this when I'm thinking and I pick it, and then like I end up wearing a hole in it, and I gotta just fight past it. I find beard oil works when I start to itch. Just get a little beard oil in there, and it also makes it more manageable. And still growing out the long hair so we can grow that mullet because the missus requested a Joe Exotic mullet, and the beard will allow me plenty of space to do whatever Joe does with the front of his face. Because I never really watched the show. I watched like maybe one episode where some guy like shot himself in the face, and died. That was like it. That was the extent of it. That and just like if you never watched Star Wars, you'd know who. Like everybody knows who Luke Skywalker's father is, even if you didn't know, because like every television show and cartoon has made fun, like Luke, I am your father. Like you just know. Everybody, you don't have to see Forrest Gump to know who, run, Forrest, run. Like just because that has been done to death. But anyways, so like obviously that's why I know who Carol Baskins is without having to ever watch that show, other than one episode which didn't contain Carol Baskins. So anyway, yeah. Yeah. That said. Yeah, so it's No Shave November. So I challenge each and every one of you to not shave. That includes husbands and wives. I'm challenging the ladies too. That means no shaving your mustaches, no shaving your prickly legs, no shaving your armpit hair. Time to go full Austin Powers girlfriend. Please brush your teeth. Yeah, please brush your teeth, but don't you don't have to shave this November. That and that big Christmas present I was opening was I tried Instacart today. On my way out of the house, I noticed that I ran out of had one coffee worth of cream. I had just dumped the last of my distilled water to top off the coffee pot because I use distilled water in the Keurig so that we don't have so I don't have to decalcify the system because there's no calcium in distilled water. If there is, it's trace amounts because nothing's 100% pure in this world. So I tried Instacart, just kind of like, this is what I want at the store, blah, 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 click, send, and deliver to my house. And so I had distilled water come. The missus doesn't like getting the distilled water because I usually request like 5 to 10 gallons at a time. Not that I drink that much coffee, but it's funny how like 10 gallons will disappear in a month, and the month is gone in a blink, and next thing you know, she does most of the grocery shopping, and she's hauling 10 gallons of water from a shelf to a cart, to the cart, to the counter, from the counter back to the cart, from the cart to the car, to the car. Then she parks in front of the house, and I got to go, even in the dead of winter, pull frozen jugs of water out of her van. And it's a pain in the ass. It's easier just to be like, click, oh, man, I paid $10, like 10 extra bucks. Somebody else went and picked up everything, delivered it to my door. That's worth $10. I make more than $10 an hour. It takes me an hour to go to Walmart and back. Plus pick everything out that I want. It's easier if I'm not bothered by other things that are there. I can say, listen, I want this. Here's my alternative, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, let me try and get some booze. So, especially because No Shave November has started and Sober October has ended. I don't know if I don't have a way of opening this. Uno más. All right, I'm back. Sam Adams, So I wanted this Saranac Irish Roots. I figured that would be almost like touching for today. I'm not going to polish this whole 12 pack off. I'll probably be hammered after one of these. Man, this church key's got to go. Oh. In case you can't see that world. Cheers. I missed you, old friend. We're back to the show. So anyways, yeah, no, sober October went well. Zero sobriety. Do you know what I don't miss is like hangovers and stuff. I don't miss them. I miss the taste of a good beer. And I'll probably still just gonna, like, if I don't need to be drinking, I'm not gonna drink. And then I'll say that, and then like I'll go to I get a couple family events coming up this month, and it'll probably like end up in me like hungover a couple times throughout the month, and I'll be like, never again. And then Christmas will roll up, and then it's eggnog and rum time. I got eggnog in the fridge. I was gonna drink that the other day. I had a glass of it. No. The reason I opened it was because I ran out of coffee cream or something else I got on my Instacart today. I was like, I want light cream. Give me light cream. Light cream is better in your coffee if you're a cream drinker, because then half and half, because it's not half milk, half light cream. It's just all light cream. And the nice part about that is, and Mickey George introduced me to this when we were starting the coffee shop, Quinn's Wake, and like he did way more research into it. Obviously, he was kind of like the operations manager at the time, and so he did more research, and he pointed out to me, and we started with like quarter whole milk, and then like 3/4 light cream, and then eventually we were like, screw it, it's better, the little extra cost, let's just light cream everybody all day long. And that's what they give you at Tim Hortons. That's why people go to Tim Hortons, because they have Hood cream, which is award-winning cream, and in order to get on their chain to get Hood cream, you can't be a small little rinky-dink coffee shop. You've got to like buy like 4 gallons at a time, and they want you to like buy 16 a month minimum orders. You know what I mean? Like we can't do that. I'd be throwing cream out. I'd be just drinking cream for no reason. But it's got a higher fat content, and that adds more body to your coffee. That's why a lot of people like their keto diets. Because in the keto diet, like you're just literally adding just like extreme high fat content, like it's usually like heavy oil. I think I use like I tried like I can't even remember the name of the coffee. Gunpowder coffee. They called it something when you added like just oil to it. I used animal fat. Probably part of the reason why I had an issue where I think other people were adding like literally like straight up coconut oil or some like, I think it's the same stuff they used to make pot brownies. Oh, that one was sloppy. So anyways, no shave November, gang. I know you guys love seeing me here, so yeah, my sober October went well. Don't plan on getting too hammered this November, but you never know. I am just a mere ship on the ocean, and the winds can blow in any direction. But yeah, so we're let's see, yeah, body in your coffee. Tried Instapot. Got this beer delivered to my house, and trying to think. We're catching up. I banged out 2 books today, so you guys will be having those coming soon. And I've got a test camera. I want to test that out and see how that works for like on the road. But then I'd have to upload, so you do get less live streaming out of me. But most of you yahoos don't even like watch my live stream anyways. My subscribership is pretty low, so I mean, like right now I'm getting 1 playback, and that could be myself because I monitor it like to make sure the feed is up online using another laptop. So like desktop over here, laptops over here. It keeps my CPU speeds unhindered by Google Chrome being open. Just the little tricks of the trade when you work with what you got. But I've got a camera to test. It's a 4K, and we're gonna try that out and give it a review, and maybe we'll do the book reviews from there. I wanted to do a podcast from the RV, and I also wanted to do one from the construction site of the new studio. But so we might be doing that. I've got like the other half of Jordan Peterson's book to review. Still, I finished it. I made notes, and then if you follow my Twitter feed, you probably saw the 2 books I polished off today. One of them I had like 50 minutes left on, so that wasn't that hard at all. And then there was one that I started a while ago when we got the dog, because Phillips Command Dogs couldn't get us in, and then we ended up getting. They ended up finding a spot for us, and it was getting, wait a minute, no, we just ran the clock out. It was time for his appointment, and they put him in, and I kind of stopped reading the book, and then we finished his first training, couple week gap. Now he's in the middle of his second training, and then I was like, you know what, let me just finish that book too. So then I finished that book. So so I've got 3 books, and I just started. I went back to my log of Thomas Sowell books and figure out where I left off, and we're reading the Quest for Cosmic Justice, which is the next book in the series that Audible provides that I have to read. And so now I've kind of just pressed play on it and then immediately pressed pause, and then I listened to a Louder with Crowder podcast and finished off my day because just had a crazy day, just finishing everything up. So, but yeah, So yeah, talking about all the other podcasts I got to do. Yeah, I think that'll be fun if we just do a couple podcasts from like different areas, and that you won't get them live. But like I said, none of you yahoos watch them live anyways. You guys wait a couple days, or you wait till I usually take the podcasts and I upload them to my journal, which is an app on my phone called Journey, and also I get on my computer. I can't remember. I think I get the lifetime subscription for it. It was like $30 versus $10 a year. It was like, oh, just buy it. It's handy. I want to keep a journal, so sometimes I have like journal entries, and then they can become like Instagram posts, at which point then it shares to Facebook and Twitter and Tumblr and all these other places that no one ever goes to either to follow us. So but that's what I do with the podcast. So I make it a journal entry and I put it in there, and then I critique it a little bit, and then I just click go, and it just shares it all across the board, and which is kind of handy, and it also keeps a log of my journey. So you're learning a little bit of the inside secrets here to the Life22 studios today. Also, tomorrow we're going to sneak out as soon as I get out of work, I'm going to sneak out a podcast. I'm going to say sneak. I'm just going to pump out a podcast for you folks. And that is going to be to remind you that tomorrow is Election Day, last day, to make your choice. So choose wisely. I got rumor on the street is they're anticipating low voter turnout, which doesn't surprise me. It's always low voter turnout, unless you have to. What record high turnouts were like the last few presidential elections, right? Like Barack Obama's first one, the first African American president. Everybody and their brother went out to vote that year. And then you had unless you're trying to wipe Donald Trump off the face of the earth, and at which point then everybody else went out to vote to say, I'm not voting for Donald Trump. And then you had a bunch of people saying, we're still voting for Donald Trump. And there you go. The animosity brings people out to the polls. There's nothing animonisical. We're making up words here on the channel. But anyways, yeah, there's no animosity out there this year. You got a mayoral election. So actually, in the mayoral elections, probably going to a low voter turnout means that you're going to have less people voting for the incumbent, which would be Mayor Bill, and you'd get the little grassroots movements that just makes their 100 votes that Gary Harvey gets, it's going to mean more, when you normally have, if you get like 1,600 people out at the polls, right? Like, that's the actual number of voters, I believe, in my ward. Maybe that's the number that usually votes in ward. No, it's usually, geez, I can't remember. I think we had like 500 voters in our ward. Anyways, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, like, there was like 1,600 people that voted in the last mayoral election. Maybe that's how many voted for Bill last time. The numbers elude me. We're going 4 years back, and I'm trying to recall from memory. Numbers stick in my head, though. Like, people have accused me of having Asperger's, or some form of autism, which, you know, I'm kind of socially awkward, and I have an impeccable memory. So, autistic kids are wired better. What am I going to say? You know what I mean? They're super smart. They can look at a building, tell me how many bricks are in it. Like, that's way better than being sociable. But, yeah, so, I was always accused of it. I just never went to a doctor and had it diagnosed. But, yeah, who gives a crap? I'm a functioning member of society. You guys can eat it. And you guys are going to sit here and watch me until I get hammered. Just kidding. No. We'll probably bust her off soon. Just wanted to see how you guys are doing for your sober October and push you guys to watch me for at least 20 minutes. Because 20 minutes of Kevin before bedtime, I don't know, keeps the Sandman from crawling out from under your bed and eating your eyelashes or something. Taking a lot of sips. Wonder if I do that with water. So, yeah. Eyelashes, eating eyelashes. Oh, yeah. So, anyways, yeah, Bill, I think there were 1,600 people that voted last time. So, if you think, like, only, it's not a very heavily competed race, right? Like, the last time you had Bill and Linda going at it, and that was Democrats and Republicans, and it was, you know what I mean? And even then, it was a low turnout. It was slightly higher than your off year where you have no county elections, you have no government, you've got let's see here. I think the gubernatorial year is also the same as the county legislator year, which usually has a high turnout. So the mayoral year falls on a bad turnout year. The ward election Ward 4 always falls on a bad year. So it falls on the off year from the gubernatorial and the presidential. Like, we were always in between, which didn't matter for me because I always just took it home because, like, people were all out there going to vote for Kevin. The only people who don't like me are the people on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, Tumblr, Instagram, Snapchat, house party. Yeah, even the people I invite to house party don't like me. So, yeah, no, so they're worried about low turnout. So if you have low turnout on a year like this, instead of getting 1,600 votes, maybe there's 1,000 votes cast. Well, that means that Gary will probably still get his 100 votes. Because that's usually what happens. Like, even Kevin Bartholomew, when he runs, never usually clears 100 votes. I think he got like 20 votes last time. Luke Winkie didn't clear 100 votes. Maybe I owe him $1 because I told him he wouldn't clear 100 votes, and he cleared like 120. No, I'm pretty sure he didn't clear 100 votes. I think I told him. I said, you're not going to clear 100 votes. No, maybe I told him you weren't going to clear 500 votes. It was a countywide election. It's hard not to get 100 votes. Even just being a libertarian, you get 100 votes. Even if the libertarians are off the party, you'd get 100 votes. So, yeah. So, anyways, Gary will probably get 100 votes in a citywide election, and that means that Bill would get 90 votes if he only had 1,000 people, and so that would be he would get 90% of the vote. Where, like, if it was 1,600 people voted, and Gary still got his 100. I mean, you're talking. Wow, I can't do math today. He would be getting 6.25% of the vote. Or if you made the math easy and 2,000 people voted, he'd be getting 5% of the vote instead of 10% of the vote. All you're doing is just making him look like he's more popular, because the amount of people that don't show up to vote aren't voting for Gary. That's it. They're just going to show up. They're just, they might. He might get like 6% of the vote when it comes to 2000, but it's still. I think Bill's going to win by a landslide. But we'll talk more about this tomorrow when we go into the. This is what happens when I don't have much to talk about. I just start rambling on other podcasts I should be doing. But I want to do a podcast on Election Day to remind you to do Election Day. And that's why we're also doing this public service announcement right here and telling you to vote tomorrow. Don't forget to go vote. It's your duty. It is your duty as an American citizen to go vote. But if you don't, my vote means more. That's what it means. Just like last year when I told everybody that I'm just going to keep trying for the school board, I'm going to win because you guys are going to forget to vote, which means that the people that I send to the polls every year are going to vote, and we're going to win. Unless New York State keeps getting more and more woke, at which point I'll homeschool my kids. But I'll probably still run for school board, because even with homeschooled kids, I can run for school board because I'm a taxpayer and I'm a registered voter. So any registered voter can run for office. Ta-da! All right, gang. We will see you here tomorrow. Good night. Get a good night's rest. You can vote anytime from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. tomorrow night at your local regular normal voting location. If you do not know where that is, I can't help you. They probably sent you something in the mail telling you. If not, you can check the Board of Elections website for Cattaraugus County just by Googling it. Wow, ta-da. And sometimes Facebook will tell you where to vote, but I don't know. I don't trust Facebook. Zuckerberg don't know where to vote. He knows where to stick it, but he doesn't know where to vote all the time. So Cattaraugus County Board of Elections, to find where you have to vote, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., and let's make them votes count. All right, folks, we'll see you tomorrow. Peace.